Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Star Wars Wednesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with Star Wars, the Black Series, Clones of the Republic, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper 2-pack. Let's get into it! Let's start things off with a look at the packaging. And here on the top, pretty much nothing except some tape and a hook here. Star Wars, the Black Series on the front. And then nice big window showcasing most of the figures and the accessories. Clones of the Republic, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper. Warning! Don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up, assortment number, Hasbro print on the bottom, small print, fine print, legalese print, Made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, nice artwork of Clone Wars era Jedi Master Mace Windu. And then on this side, nice artwork of the 187th Legion clone. And then on the back, that same artwork of Mace and the Clone Trooper here. Star Wars the Black Series, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper. During the Clone Wars, clone troopers formed the backbone of the Republic's new military that battled Confederacy of Independent Systems. And I missed the Confederacy of Independent Systems on there. As the war intensified, Jedi Master Mace Windu sensed the dark side of the Force at work and knew the Jedi's enemies were plotting to destroy the Order. And then there it is again in some other languages that I don't read or speak. Warning, attention, Octoon. Don't stick things in any language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Includes 2 figures and 3 accessories. Attention! Especially don't stick it in your French pie hole. And then more small fine legalese, made in China, Disney print, and Hasbro print. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figures and their accessories. And first up, let's take a look at Mace Windu's accessory, which is his purple bladed lightsaber. It's got some gold paint apps and some silver paint apps on the hilt. I do believe it's molded in black plastic, but I could be mistaken. It wouldn't be the first time. You notice it does have a little peg here, but the figure does not have a port for the lightsaber. Notice a nice purple for the blade, made of translucent plastic, and just the paint apps on Mace Windu's lightsaber are usually really good. And I do really like the way that this looks. So, very nice lightsaber accessory. Next up, we've got handy dandy tweezers, and we'll take a look at the clone's smaller blaster. And I can't remember the models of all these things, but it's nothing we haven't seen before. Nice molded details, molded all in, it looks like black plastic with a bit of a dull sheen to it. So, not too shabby. And here's his big rifle. Again, nice molded details, all molded in. It looks like it's not quite black. I do see silver flecks in the plastic as well, and it's in the plastic. It's not external. But nice molded details and molded in a glittery plastic that's off black. That's what I'm going to say. So maybe a little bit gray. And then his last piece of equipment is his helmet, and it reminds me a lot of the Shock Trooper deco, only in purples. And I do think this is very, very cool. This to me is really, really awesome. And it takes me back. There was a set of Mace Windu and 187th clones in the 3 3/4 line. I want to say it was a Target exclusive. And this deco really takes me back to those figures. You can see he's got some nice silver paint apps there on the bridge of the nose piece. And then some silvers and blacks for the comms. And then black for over the visor and the T-visor. And just really, I think they did a good job on that. Now, let's take a look at the figures. And we'll start with Mace. And there's nothing really new about this Mace Windu except maybe the deco a little bit. I think they're using the inkjet on this one. And I still think the first release has the best look. And even though it's the same sculpt, the paint, I think, makes it look a lot more like Samuel L. Jackson than this. Not that this doesn't. This does sort of look like him. It doesn't 100% look like him with this. But that original paint app really helps with that. And it looks like maybe a paint app right here, because that's too soft to be an overlay. This is an overlay though, so it might not. It might be molded in this light color, and then this more tan color is all overlay, and overlay for the belt, and overlay for the lower piece. And again, this is all like the episode 2 or episode 3 Mace Windu. They didn't even, you know, change the knees or anything like that. And the only thing that's different are the forearms from the elbows down, it looks like. And these are from the last Clone Wars release of Mace Windu that was based on the Genndy Tartakovsky 2D animated Mace Windu. And the only difference with this is that it has this Republic, or the Jedi, not Republic, but the Jedi logo and tampoed on it. Other than that, it looks to be the same. Maybe there might be a little bit of paint here on the fingers that weren't on the original to show that he's wearing gloves, and that's on both hands. Nice little silver paint app on the belt buckle there. And that really does it for the paint apps. And then, you know, all that's molded. He's got double hinged pinless, or pinned, not pinless knees. And they mismatched it with the single hinge and swivel elbow. But let's take a look at his articulation real quick. He can look up that high. He can look down that far. And the neck, torso, and head are all separate pieces. Ball joint at the bottom of the neck with a dumbbell at the top. So he's got chicken neck. He's got waggle. He can do the full exorcist at the shoulder. 360 degrees of rotation. And he can raise his arm approximately 90 degrees. Single hinge and swivel here at the elbow. Swivels around 360 degrees. And gives you a bit better than 90 degrees of bend at the elbow. 360 degrees at the wrist on an in and out hinge. And the other side is... it's up and down. So that's cool. And he does have a ball joint at the waist. So that gives him all kinds of hula going on here. He can lean left and right. He can lean back that far. He can crunch forward that far. And 360 degrees of rotation there as well. At the hips, that's actually as far as the range of motion of the hips goes. It's not hindered by this overlay. That is the limit right there. So he gives you that much of the splits. He can kick forward approximately 90 degrees, so that's pretty good, especially for a Jedi Master. He can step back, it looks like about a step. And let's see, is there... yes. So there is a cut in the upper thigh for another 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged pinned knee, as I mentioned before, and we'll turn it out to the side a little bit so we can actually get the full range of motion. And it looks like you get that much bend out of the knee, and no boot cut because you see the pins right there in his boot. And at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up barely, and forward facing pin for rocker. I would like them to fix this mold, especially that ankle tilt forward. It really needs to work a little better than that. So let's move Mace out of the way. We'll take a look at the Clone Trooper real quick and take a look at his face, my friends. What great deco on there. He's got some lines up here. He's got a scar up here. Maybe those are scars too, but I think those are just forehead lines. And then it looks like it's all one sculpt, not like the hair is glued on or anything like that. Torso, neck, head, 3 separate pieces, ball at the bottom of the neck. Looks like a dumbbell at the top. Can't really see in there. So, and then he's got these nice purples, the belt, the stripes around the arms, these little partial stripes on the legs, and then the stripes down the legs on the front of the knee pads, and then all of the boot, basically. And then on the back, you know, the bands go around the back and the belt goes around the back. The belt actually is probably molded in this color. And then I do like how it's kind of two-toned with the white. The white's not two-toned, the purple's two-toned on the white is what I meant. So, very nice looking mold overall. I do like this, especially the deco on the head. It really, really makes it stand out and makes me think of, you know, when the clones had their helmets off in episode 3. So, as far as his articulation goes, he can look up that far. He can look down that far. He's got chicken neck. He's got waggle. He can do the full exorcist. There is butterfly at the shoulder. It goes back that far. It goes forward that far. And then this is the older arm and chest, I believe, because this doesn't really want to go under the armor. It wants to go over the top of this chest armor strap. So he gets that much bend at the shoulder, or he can raise his arm that much at the shoulder, but you know, you don't want to do it a whole lot because of bending this up. 360 degrees of rotation. There's a cut here at the upper bicep. Nope, not on this one. There's not. That's the newer one, I suppose. Single hinge and swivel at the elbow, and it gives you that much bend, and it will swivel full 360 degrees. And then at the wrist, in and out hinge, 360 degrees of rotation, and on the other side it's an up and down hinge, so that's good. Now there's a cut here where the upper torso and lower torso abdomen meet. Gives him hula. He can lean left and right. He can lean back that far. He can lean forward that far, and then nothing at the waist, of course. At the hips, he can give you that much of the splits. He can kick forward past 90 degrees. And it's got about 3 steps maybe. And then, of course, in here where the leg attaches to this armor piece, there's a swivel in there. You probably could fight with it and make it do 360 degrees, but I'm not going to do that. Single hinge and swivel at the knee. Swivels around 360 degrees. And you can see this knee pad piece is a separate piece. And the knee gives you that much bend. And then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as storage of his accessories, he doesn't really have them. He can hold his helmet. He can wear his helmet. I prefer he's going to wear his helmet. If I can get it back on his head. So, alright, there we've got that. And then you just choose one of his weapons. I like this one a little better than the bigger one. This one is more Clone Wars, especially for the Phase 2 armor, at least to me. But there you have it, my friends. There's a look at that figure. And we already looked at the other figure, but let's look at his accessory storage. Oh, there is none. He just has to hold his lightsaber in his hand because he is one bad Mother Jedi. And let's fix that. And there you have it, my friends. There's a look at the figures and their accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have Star Wars, the Black Series, Clone Wars, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper, with Star Wars, the Black Series, Episode 2, Mace Windu, Star Wars, the Black Series, 2D Clone Wars version Mace Windu, and Star Wars, the Black Series, Phase 2 Clone Trooper from the Phase 2 Clone Trooper and Battle Droid 2-pack. For our final set of comparisons, here we have the Star Wars, the Black Series, the Clone Wars, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper 2-pack, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars, the Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the shared exclusive, at least I think it's a shared exclusive between Hasbro Pulse and ShopDisney.com or DisneyShop.com, whatever they're calling it now. Star Wars Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, Mace Windu, and 187th Legion Clone Trooper 2-pack. I have to say, this almost finishes Mace Windu's for me. I think I have to have an Episode 1 version. And I'm not sure how different he is color-wise from the others. He may not be, and if that's the case, I'd have to go back and look. But if that's the case, then, you know, I'm done with Mace Windu's for the most part. Until, of course, they do 3 more like the ones that are out now, but on updated bodies. But overall, I have to say, you know, even though this Mace Windu is 100% reuse, I do like it. I still think the first release Mace Windu with I think the paint apps on his head make him look the most like Samuel Jackson. And, you know, that one's always gonna be my favorite one. Now, as far as the 187th Legion clone goes, I love the color scheme on this guy. And I realize this is basically just the Shock Trooper, and they, you know, used purples instead of reds. And that's fine, because it really takes me back to the first time I owned a 187th Legion clone, which was in a Target exclusive multi-pack 3 3/4 inch figure set, I think. And so I really liked those clones. Now if they give us one with like the strap pieces and the Commander regalia, that would be cool too. As far as their articulations go, both of them are fairly good. Mace Windu, they mismatched, you know, hinge and swivel elbows with double hinged pinned knees, which again goes back to that first release of Mace Windu. And they didn't use the 100% updated clone body for the clone in this set, and I don't understand why, but it is what it is. It still works fine. The range of motion on them both are pretty good. And again, the sculpts are pretty good. The decos, especially on the clone, is... I'm going to say the deco on the clone is superb. And the Mace Windu is pretty good. But now we have the Mace Windu from both versions of the Clone Wars. And we have a movie version. So maybe that does it for Mace. But I would like to see some more of these 187th Legion clones available. Maybe singly released or in a 2-pack where you can change some of the stuff out to make one of them a commander, and then however many more you buy, you can make them all troopers, or however, you know, if you want to army build that way. Of course, I do a little army building, but not a whole lot. Mostly my army building is with a green screen. So overall, again, I like this set. I'm glad that I picked it up, and I was really looking forward to this clone trooper, and I'm glad I got my hands on it because I think it looks really, really good. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view that I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.